It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, January 15th. I hope everyone's doing well on this beautiful Thursday. I love a Thursday, but this Thursday, you guys, today has been out of control. I'll tell you all about it in just a moment. Welcome. Thank you for being here, putting my phone on Do Not Disturb so those notifications don't bother me. I see your comments. Make sure as you come on in to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed because we have a full show today. Okay. We're hitting up some updates on Timothy Busfield showing up in for the court, for the judge. We have the video of that, plus some Bravo casting news. We also have a interesting video that I'm going to share with you about Colton Underwood, former bachelor, who's also on the Traitors right now, and some really shady stuff that he's done in the past. I have never, ever heard about this. So I'm confused about it. Also, you guys, I've got all my comments going crazy right now. I love it. But also, I have more pop culture news involving Pamela Anderson and Seth Rogen. Wait, what? Let's get into it, everyone. It's your daily dose of Donna. I am loving the comments today. I think I'm going to have to put them on the stage so everyone can see how people like Zach Peter are terrorizing me in my comment section. Everyone, welcome to the show. Speaking of Zach, I'm going to be on Zach's show tomorrow. We pre-recorded it, but we go through Justin Baldoni's deposition and the cuckoo stuff that came out of there. OMG. I do have a little bit of a Blake Lively story for you guys in just a bit, so don't worry. I will get in there. Okay. Where do we start? Number one, in case I move over a little bit and you see this like really red thing on my chest, I want to let you guys know I went to the dermatologist this morning and I had something that is it's sun damage and it's benign, but they had to freeze it off. And if it doesn't go away, it's going to scab and everything. But if it doesn't go away in 2 weeks, I have to go back because then they have to biopsy it. And this is just a reminder to go to the dermatologist. I am covered in freckles and moles and my arms and everything. It's all over my body. It's just the way my skin is. So reminder, go to the doctor, get it checked out. Speaking of, I actually do need to go to a general practitioner. So if you live in the Sherman Oaks area and you've got a great one, hit me up. Okay, I need one. Let's get into the show. Zach is totally creating drama here. Anything anti-Colton is purely homophobic. Oh my God. No, because Colton Underwood is apparently a former stalker against a woman, even though he's not with a woman. I mean, we're going to get into the story, okay? I want to get through a few things. I have a really tight ship today because I have a hard out. That's what she said. And I want to get into it. But the first story we have to talk about is Timothy Busfield. Okay. Yesterday, he showed up with his orange jumpsuit. He has a new outfit. It's giving Nicolas Maduro's costume changes. And he doesn't, I mean, it's not as cool as like the Nike sweatsuit vibe. But he did have to come in and talk in front of a judge. Now, yesterday, I went off on my feelings about Timothy Busfield. And I did get a little pushback. Okay. One of my friends, he's a friend now, but he used to be my boss. He's a casting director. Remember, I used to be a casting director. So when I was a casting associate and an assistant working on shows like Reba and a bunch of different shows, my boss, who's still a friend of mine, went off on me on Facebook. Not in like, I'm going to hate you, but just was like, this is the deal, guys. This is the deal. Innocent until proven guilty. And yes, innocent until proven guilty is absolutely a thing. So I don't want to completely deny that for Timothy Busfield and for anyone that is being accused of a crime. But my spidey senses are just saying something is off here. When someone has multiple people coming out from various years against them, and his video and his not showing up for his arrest warrant after, 2 full days, 3 days, and driving to Albuquerque like the guy couldn't get on a plane. It's all screaming shady to me. And so I speculate for a living. That's what I said. Okay, a uh I am not the news. I am just commentary on the news, okay? So whatever I say, you guys can just hear it and just argue with me. That's cool. Argue with me. Put it in the comments. Just make sure you're subscribed and like the show. Okay? Okay. Okay. Today on my other podcast, I'm really excited. My other podcast, Just Jew and Me, because guys, proud Jew over here. I am interviewing with my co-host Adam, the creator of 24, the show, and he also co-created Homeland. His name is Howard Gordon. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to go in person over to my husband's studios, F22 Studios in Burbank. They should be sponsoring me, is the truth. So it will be a really, really busy, jam-packed day. Timothy Busfield was denied bail when he showed up via satellite in front of the judge yesterday. I was kind of surprised by that he wasn't in front of, he wasn't in person. At least it didn't feel like it was in person. It definitely felt like a Zoom situation. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but if you haven't, I say we watch it together. Okay, everyone get your popcorn. It's movie time. This reminds me of when you have like in school when they roll in the TV. Remember those moments? And you're like, yes, they're going to turn off the lights and they are going to, put on a movie so I can nap. Well, don't nap for this one because it's short. It's only about 2 minutes. Let's watch it together. This is via TMZ. It's quiet for a bit. He walks in his orange jumpsuit. Look, it does not look, it's quiet for a bit first. It does not look like a friendly place to be. I'm just going to be honest.
Right. And Ms. Fairberg, had you had an opportunity to advise him before I called the case? I didn't know if you needed to call over to the podium first.
We've had an opportunity to confer. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead and get started. Right, we're on the record, FR 273
He kind of smirks,
State
which
of New
I find
Mexico
weird.
versus Timothy Busfield.
James Plummer for the state.
Amber Fairberg on behalf of Mr. Busfield, Your Honor, who appears in MDC custody.
Good afternoon. Mr. Busfield is set for felony first appearance this afternoon. Counsel, have you had an opportunity to advise your client?
Yes, I've had an opportunity to advise my client of the charges against him, the possible penalties, and his rights. He does not raise a probable cause challenge at this time as a result of the arrest warrant, and I understand, Your Honor, that the state has filed a motion for pretrial detention.
Thank you, counsel. That's correct. It looks like a probable cause was found on January the 9th at the time the warrant for Mr. Busfield's arrest was issued. And Mr. Busfield, the state has filed an expedited motion for pretrial detention in this case, sir. That means you will continue to be held without bond pending your hearing before the district court, sir. That hearing will take place within the next 5 business days. Your deadline for preliminary hearing is going to be January the 29th, sir. Was there anything further from counsel for defense for this state at this time?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that is that. He was charged with, not charged, but he was basically arraigned and told you have to stay in jail until your next pretrial hearing, which will happen within the next 5 business days. And the deadline is January 29th. You can see immediately he deflates. I think 1000% he was thinking he was going to just have to go in there, show up for one night, and do the hearing, get his bond or bail, whatever, and get out of there. He has absolutely no ability to get out of jail until this hearing because the prosecutors are very clear that this man is a danger. This is what the prosecutors are saying, that this man is a danger to children in our society. Wow. Pretty harsh over there in New Mexico. I like it for true criminals. I think it's actually a good thing if this is true, but also, it sucks for him. And I have to be honest, I did feel really briefly, I did feel like, whoa, it's like tough to watch someone that you know has lived a very charmed and blessed life, and he's always been on movie sets and TV shows and has always had money and fame, and people recognize him on the streets, to go to this. It's like, whoa, it's kind of shocking for the system because my gut feeling wants to feel guilty or not guilty, bad for him. That's the truth. My gut feeling wants to feel bad for him. And then I'm like, whoa, if he is in fact guilty of these crimes, like, awful, awful. And I still find his actions with Melissa Gilbert to be very shady. The fact that she erased her Instagram immediately. Why? That's kind of strange. It's giving guilty. It's giving, I want to hide. Both of them went like, I just want to hide. That just as someone that's watching these true crime trials play out, like we watch people's behavior. We listen to the 911 calls. We see what they do and we say, this is not exactly how I would handle that. If I was innocent, I wouldn't run. Now, before I get into one more update about him, thank you so much, LADH, for your super chat. She says, I've had the worst week, so actually catching y'all live is lifting my spirits, and I appreciate it. Sending love to everyone. A lot of people are having bad times right now. You know, it's the beginning of the year. We should be feeling positive and all those things. But, you know, life is tough. Life is very, very tough and tricky right now. So I feel 1000% sensitive and sympathetic to anyone that's going through a tough time. I'll tell you guys about my tough time, though. No. That feels. My son has the flu. Okay. To live with a kid that has the flu is very hard. I don't sleep. I'm not sleeping at night. But I'm so sorry about your tough time, too. Everyone has their things. We're all giving each other love right now. Now, I will say about his social media, Maddie says, would you turn off comments? Melissa Gilbert completely deactivated her Instagram account. Yeah, I would just turn off comments. Deactivating feels like confusing. But the reason why she did that is because someone said a few weeks before, she talked about child sex crimes. And so she probably panicked and deleted it. But it just doesn't feel very good. Molly says, how many men need to be caught doing bad things before men start thinking, maybe I shouldn't be doing bad things? That's a good question. That is a good question. Another update about Timothy Busfield. He was dropped by his agent. His agency, Innovative Artists. If you guys are in the industry, if you know Los Angeles, if you know the big agencies, New York, whatever, actors, there's some like top ones, right? Obviously, we've been talking so much about WME when we talk about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case. We have Gersh, we have CAA, UTA, and Innovative is pretty much up there with all those big ones. They represent a lot of really, really big actors and actresses. And yes, according to the article that I just read, Timothy Busfield was dropped by Innovative Agency after the child sex abuse charges, which I think is fascinating. It's interesting why some people drop their clients and why some people don't. You know, we've talked about this a lot. I find this kind of interesting that they dropped based on charges. That makes me think there may be a little bit more information that we just don't know that they know. It says he was let go yesterday from Innovative Artists after he surrendered to police. And this is, you know, Timothy Busfield just worked on an episode of SVU or something. They pulled the episode. It's supposed to air January 15th, or today. They pulled the episode. But I just think that, you know, as a business, you know, and I hate to say this out loud, but this guy's career is most likely over. Just being honest, okay? I do believe that when you are being accused of sex crimes, especially with minors, I don't know how you come back from that. Even if you are deemed innocent, there's something that is it will always leave a bad taste in people's mouths. And also just because knowing that there's multiple cases stemming from different years throughout the years, I just think that It's probably a innovative talent agency probably knows like it's done, at least for the time being, at least for a long time. He's not going to be making them money, and it's all about a business. Now, just kind of along those same lines about Timothy Busfield being dropped by his agency, let's just kind of pivot over to Justin Baldoni, because if you guys remember, Justin Baldoni was dropped just with the CRD complaint. There wasn't even a legal filing other than that. There wasn't a court case. There wasn't a sue. Like, she hadn't even sued him. Blake Lively just did the CRD complaint, and WME dropped him. Now we know now why, because behind the scenes there was a lot of operations by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively to get Justin Baldoni to get dropped right off the bat. But some of these agencies, I think, just immediately say, we're out. Like, we're not touching this. This is not something we want to kind of even touch. To be dropped just on charges is scary. But that's the thing about these agencies. It's a business. Are you going to be making me money? No? Okay. You're done. And so that's ultimately what happens there. While I'm talking about Justin Baldoni, can we laugh for a minute? Let's all just, where's my laugh track? Okay. I need a laugh track ready, because this is an interesting update with Blake Lively. It's truly actually funny. Blake Lively has referred to her New York City home office as a Buckingham Palace. Yep. She called her home a Buckingham Palace in reference to the A-listers she and husband Ryan Reynolds hosted. This is who we're dealing with, okay? Blake Lively thinks she is on top of the freaking world. And to even call yourself that, to even say like, yeah, my home, the Buckingham Palace, that's hilarious. Hilarious, right? It's so cheesy to use that laugh. I never do it. You can't hear people laugh and not laugh with it, right? What is she doing? What is she doing? I mean, the Buckingham Palace? What? Mine is the Chuck E. Cheese. She dubbed her home office in her New York City abode the Buckingham Palace. And this revelation was during his October 6, 2025 deposition, Baldoni's deposition. And they used it as a code to refer to their New York City residence. He said she used to call it Buckingham Palace because so many celebrities walk through there. She preferred to operate out of the office professionally during production. I think that was her office in her penthouse apartment, which was the place that Miss Lively requested all of our meetings be. Oh my God. This girl, she's just too much for me, y'all. She's just too much for me. I look forward to the days where we don't have to talk about Blake Lively anymore. And also adding to that, and you will hear more about this if you watch Zach's show tomorrow, and maybe I'll cover it after he does. Jenny Slate. She may be the worst. I mean, Blake Lively is pretty bad, but Jenny Slate may be almost there. Because if you follow that It Ends With Us trial, I mean, the court documents and everything and the deposition, Jenny Slate is out of control. And I say this truly, like, one of the most entitled actors I've ever heard in my entire life for the things that she complained about on the set of It Ends With Us. It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy that people are out there going after Justin Baldoni for saying some things like an outfit from one of his actors in character is sexy. Or talking about getting circumcised as a kid when he's talking to his pregnant friend at this point, who is having a boy and probably talking about circumcision in a public setting. This is who is getting this kind of legal attack where people like Timothy Busfield are walking the streets. Interesting. I hate it. There's some really bad people on sets. There's some really bad people in production. There's some really bad people in the entertainment industry. And when this happens, it feels just like such a waste of the legal system. It really does. But Jenny Slate, man, some of the things she complained about are insane. Like, talk about an ego on a human being to think that you're better than the world. It's unreal. Okay. Let's move on to another story since I've got to get to it. Pamela Anderson is mad at Seth Rogen. This is kind of an interesting twist. She's mad at Seth Rogen because of the portrayal of hers and Tommy Lee's relationship in Pam and Tommy. She thinks that she felt yucky near him at the Golden Globes. She was in an interview with Andy Cohen. Sorry, it's another TMZ video, but they've just got all the videos very easy access today. She was on Andy Cohen's radio show, and she talked about how she felt about sitting next to Seth Rogen at the Golden Globes. Let's watch it together.
At the Golden Globes, for instance, I didn't leave early. I left after my award and I went
Okay.
right to bed.
Really?
Seth Rogen. Like, he did that movie on me
Yeah.
without talking to me. Pam and Tommy.
Right.
And
yeah.
that was another, I just felt like,
Uh,
like, no, how can someone make a TV series out of difficult
Yes.
times in your life? And I'm a living, breathing human
Yeah,
being over
right.
here. Hello.
Did you
And
run
every-
into him at all?
Well, he was, in
Near
the
you?
pit at the Golden Globes,
Okay.
so we were
Yes.
close. But I
Yes.
was just like, I just don't. I may
Yeah,
just felt like
yeah,
I'm not chopped
personal.
liver over here.
Right.
I felt a little bit weird about it. And
I'm
I felt
sure
like,
you did.
I've been so busy,
Yes.
and working. I've done 5 movies in the last year. So I've
Right.
just been busy. But sometimes it hits you and you feel kind of down. And then with I don't know, just felt like a little yucky. But I mean,
Did-
it's eventually, hopefully maybe he'll reach out to me and apologize.
Did you?
Not that matters.
Well, no, it might. I mean, it might mean something to you.
But
I mean, it always
you are
means
free
something when you
game.
get an apology.
When you are a public person, they say you have no right to privacy. But your darkest, deepest secrets or your
Yeah.
tragedies in your life shouldn't be fair game for a TV series.
Well, it
that
also
pissed me off a little bit.
that was a
Should.
double thing because you already went through the indignity of a
Right.
very private thing being exposed to
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, the worst time in my life.
At the
Yeah.
worst time in yes. And then now it's being portrayed all these years later after you've reconciled it, after you've reclaimed your story,
Yeah.
and it's being now portrayed as fiction and as fun and whatever. So when you're at
Bowie,
right, when you're at the Golden Globes and you see him, is your inclination to give him a death stare or is it to look away? Honestly, I mean,
well,
because
you're
that's
kind
awkward.
of already tiptoeing around it. It's so uncomfortable being around everybody there. I mean, I know a lot of those people, even from Malibu days. So I still don't feel like I belong in those rooms. I feel like.
So she continues to talk about it, and it's actually, I'm proud of her for saying something. Most people are very, very intimidated about ever going against the public popular stars. Seth Rogen is at the top of his game right now. He just won Best Actor for his show, The Studio, which, by the way, we haven't talked about The Studio. I sat down with Lance to watch the first episode a few months back. This is Seth Rogen's show, and I couldn't get through it. Like, he loved it. He was laughing his ass off the entire series. I couldn't get through it. I found everyone to be so unlikable. And maybe that's because I worked in that industry and I don't like people in that industry for the most part. So it's interesting. I'm not saying that Seth was bad. I'm just saying the whole show was like a bunch of unlikable characters. I like to like the people I'm watching on TV. At least there has to be one character that I find really redeeming or interesting or good or really maybe there is on that show. Lance was watching it in the other room for the rest of the week and he was laughing his ass off. So, I don't know. Now, I wonder when this movie was this Pam and Tommy movie was even out. Oh, 2022. And Seth Rogen played a lead role in it. He was an executive producer and he played the lead role. I think he played someone that actually like bought the tape or something. She's allowed to be mad. She's allowed to be mad. It's interesting that he never spoke to her about it. And it's probably uncomfortable now because in the last couple of years, she's becoming very famous and she's in the world. We'll have to talk about that more. Okay. I've never seen Pam and Tommy. Should I? So let's move on and talk about something else. I want to talk about this Colton Underwood story. I'm going to play a TikTok for you guys. I don't know a lot about this person. I actually don't know anything about the girl who's doing the TikTok, but her name is she is Demi Burnett. She has 450,000 followers on TikTok. And I believe she was a former Bachelor contestant. I think that she actually was on his series. So let's watch the video that she did about Colton. It would be nice if I could find the video that she did about Colton. I just had it in front of me, but then I went to her main page. Let's go back and find it this way.
Colton Underwood.
There we go. Okay. She released this 3 days ago. And just watch it and let me know your thoughts.
Should not be on the traders, and here's why. My name is Demi Burnett, and I was on Colton's season of The Bachelor. Dare I say I was his season. I digress. Colton's getting the pilot Pete, Dylan, Efron edit, and it's sick, okay? It's absolutely sick. So if you don't know, let me explain to you what Colton did, okay? Let me actually just get some screenshots going. So Cassie wins our season of The Bachelor, and her and Colton date for a little bit over a year, and then they break up, and then this happens. After they broke up, a judge signed off on a restraining order for Cassie against Colton. But what did he do, right? What did he do? Oh, it's frightening. Start off, he has sent her unsettling text messages, repeatedly called her, and placed a tracking device on her vehicle to track her whereabouts. Then another instance, her brother saw him outside of their family home at 2 a.m. Doing what? Fuck if I know, fucking stalking. When confronted about this, he sent threatening text messages to Cassie, her friend, and her little brother. In the alleged text messages, he said to her, "Because you're a selfish person who isn't ready to be loved. I spent 2 years loving you the best I could, and now I'm sitting here like a fool. You've hurt me beyond words. I've always done nothing but be there for you, and you still disrespect me all the time." Like, this is fucking sick. In the next incident, Cassie was having a friend over, and he somehow knew, and he didn't like it, and he was blowing up about it and telling her that he was going to hold her accountable. I would like for someone to hold him accountable. Anyone, please. Now, here's where it blows my mind that they allow him.
Just an FYI, as you guys are watching this all happened before he came out as gay. As far as I know, this all happened when he first finished The Bachelor and was dating the Cassie girl. And then obviously she filed for a restraining order and he kept going on
Any television show or around any other human being, really. The filing states that Colton used alias phone numbers to anonymously send harassing text messages at all hours of the day to Miss Randolph and to her friends. The filing continues. Mr. Underwood also sent harassing text messages to himself, pretending also to be a victim of the anonymous stalker. He later admitted to being the one to sending the messages.
Okay, listen, she's a little annoying in the way that she's communicating this, but this is crazy, okay? He was using alias phone numbers to anonymously send harassing text messages to the girl, Cassie, at all hours of the day. And then he was also sending himself text messages, but later admitted to being the person behind the alias. That's wild. Like, why?
What? Cassie then states that on August 19th, she discovered a tile tracker taped to the bottom of her bumper car. She got a private investigator to help her figure out who did it. And 2 days later, after speaking with Colton about what transpired, the filing states that Colton admitted that he was the one who put the tracker on the car and he was the one that sent the text messages to her friends.
He admitted to putting a tracking device on her car. Now, a lot of you guys know who this Demi girl is. I don't watch The Bachelor regularly. I have no idea who she is. She may be nuts too, but she's reading from a filing, from an article about an actual legal filing. This actually feels a little bit wild, and it kind of got hidden under the radar. Let's keep going.
And himself under the alias phone number tracked. Oh my God. So everyone who's saying like he made a mistake, like, what? That is not a mistake. He thought about this and he still decided to go through with it multiple times. He thought about all of this. He premeditated all of this. Like, this is all really, really scary types of thinking patterns, people. And so for this to happen, all this comes out, right? And what does he do? He says, I'm gay. And everybody.
Okay, I am not saying whatsoever that that's why he did that. This is what she's saying, but I find it fascinating because when he comes out as gay, people immediately push that under the rug. They forgot about this story completely. Joy says this girl's voice is like nails on a chalkboard. It really is. But I can't help it. I just think that she came up with all of this information and I wanted you guys to see it. Okay?
They are so shocked by that they forget about all of that psychotic behavior that I just listed. And the craziest part is that was all part of his plan. He did this on purpose. He came out right at this time on purpose. So people would not pay attention to what we had all just discovered, which is that he is a stalker. He is dangerous to women. So what happened?
Okay. So I'll stop sharing her. But if you guys know about this story, you were paying heavy attention to The Bachelor at the time, and you were watching Colton's behavior. I wasn't. I did not watch his season. I did not watch anything that happened right after. I had no idea about the stalker behavior. All I know is that there was a former Bachelor who was like a linebacker, I want to say. Isn't he a football player? I feel like I could be making that up. And then he came out. I didn't know any of this story. I just know he came out. Then I think he's married, had a baby, right? He has like an HGTV type show. I've heard him on Jeff Lewis before. I had no information about all of this. And it's kind of insane, you guys, that the world and the entertainment world, the casting world of the traders, et cetera, is just literally pretending that none of that happened. Because if anyone that you think about anyone right now, if they did that, if they were stalking someone, putting tracking devices on their cars and how are people just not paying attention to that anymore? They just forgot about it because he came out? Like, we don't know. Now, I love me a gay man, okay? And a gay woman, okay? And heated rivalry is my bedtime story every night. But I find this to be interesting. And maybe he is, not maybe he is gay. I'm assuming he's gay, but the timing of everything is just so wild. He's a dramatic fence jumper. He jumped a fence. Colton Underwood jumping fence. I'm scared that I'm going to get a what's it called? Copyright thing, but we just have to watch like 10 seconds.
Colton. He just jumped the fence.
He just jumped the effing fence. That was when Bachelor was good, though, right? When it was Chris Harrison. Poor Chris Harrison. He really got screwed, too. Like, so many people just got. Okay. Anyway. He seems angry, obviously, to jump a fence, but I don't even know what happened, but it was just really funny. He literally jumped the fence. Like, Special K goes, oh, he literally jumped the fence. It wasn't just like a saying, like jump the shark. No, he actually jumped the fence. Okay, next story. Where do I want to go with this, huh? Let's go into some Bravo casting news. Do you guys care that Nene Leakes is back? Nene Leakes has been announced as officially back on Bravo on this new show, The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and it's going to be a what's it called? A road trip. Listen, I was texting with some of my friends who are Bravo content creators, and all of these people are kind of with me that it's going to be like, they're not that excited about this. Now, I want to talk to you guys about what this road trip is. It's to commemorate 20 years of Bravo, and it's got the top Bravo people on it, right? Like the Housewives people, right? Like it's got the best of the best. And I'll give you a list of who it is in just a moment. But I was looking at the picture of all of the stars that are going to be on this and then realizing that they're all going to be in a produced situation, kind of like Love Hotel or like that Luann Sonia show where where they're like making up a motel, and it's all produced and it's all created, probably like challenges and visits and this and that. And I think to myself, like, I'm not really sure if I am excited about this. I never watched Love Hotel. I love a housewife, like these OG housewives. I love them in their natural environment. I don't want to pull them out of the natural environment and put them in a produced environment. I don't find it's going to be as interesting to me or as funny or as fascinating. I'm sure we'll have some moments with these people. But either way, people are very, very excited about Nene, who then released an Instagram video confirming that she's back.
Hey, you guys. Okay.
With a horrendous filter. Truly one of the scariest filters I've ever seen on an Instagram video, because I don't know why she's doing this, but let's just watch a second of it.
It's your girl, Nene Leakes. Okay, so where do I start?
There's a long wait here.
This has been a really long journey.
This is a really long
And,
video. I'm excited about Nene because Nene brings something to the show. Okay. She brings something interesting to the show, and it's more exciting that way. I feel like these older OGs are somewhat more interesting than the newer girls in a lot of ways, but also I do worry that it will feel very produced. Now, here are the 7 iconic, they say, housewives. They are iconic, let's be real, who will cross the country for the Ultimate Girls Trip, roaring 20th. Here is who we have. We have Portia Williams. We have the OG of the OC, Vicky Gunvalson. We have Lisa Barlow. We also have Countess Luann, Teresa, Kyle Richards, and Giselle. I mean, it's kind of an all-star cast, which to me is very, very exciting. I think they probably paid so much money to do this. Like, these women are asking for a lot of money. It's going to be a very high budgeted show, but I don't know if it's going to be good. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see. In my opinion, I think Bravo knows that they're flailing a little and they don't know what else to do. So they're going back to the old, if that makes sense. Not by old, like grandma old, but just old, concepts. But the truth is, the Housewives formula is just hard right now. It's not really working. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it was a pretty decent season, and still I wasn't excited about it. It was still like Top Dog, Salt Lake City vibes, but I didn't go out of my way to feel like, oh my God, I need to watch tonight. In fact, the reunion just aired 2 days ago and I didn't watch it yet. It's like one of those things that I'm like, I'll watch it when I get to the weekend. I realize now that I don't cover and recap Bravo shows every day, I'm not finding myself like dying to watch. It's kind of, I'll catch up on it. I am enjoying certain shows. Like, I loved the Valley Persian Style, and that's because of Vida June. Okay, Vida June, she should be in this Ultimate Girls Trip. Vida June is iconic like no other. Okay, she's icon. Vida June, icon. She is the best Persian accent I hear in my life, and also I am interested in the MJ Tommy breakup. Like, I like that story. Now, I also am very interested in Southern Charm. And I know a lot of people don't like Southern Charm, but I watched it late last night and this morning, and I actually really like Southern Charm. And I don't know why. I'm just kind of still into that vibe. And maybe that's because I was just in Charleston and I was into it, but I liked it. Amy says, Donna, I'm on season 8 of Southern Charm. Is that oh, that's what you're watching. I was like, you're on the show? And I didn't know that Amy was on the show. I got so excited about it. Yeah, it will be good. VPR, the new VPR has not even crossed my mind. We'll never watch it probably. I have no interest, literally no interest. I was into Next Gen NYC. I'll watch that. And then Summer House is coming back. Now that is my favorite. Inject that into my veins. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm obsessed with Rachel Zoe, but I think I'm watching it for Rachel Zoe. So I just want Rachel Zoe show. I find it to be a little bit Borsnor. We'll see what happens. Watch what happens, right? I was going to say one more thing about Bravo, and now I can't remember exactly. What was I going to say about it? It was interesting. And it clearly is not interesting enough. Now, the show, the Ultimate Girls Trip, will feature 7 women who embark in a once-on-a-lifetime adventure. You know that means that they're going to have to be stopping at like different places around the country, and they're going to have to, show up into small towns, and maybe they'll have to like climb a rock or something. You know how it is. It's just always that way. Uh, thing that I want to share that was kind of breaking news. I mean, there's so much breaking news, but I don't know if it's exactly what we want to talk about it over here. I think that's it for today. I think that's it. Tomorrow, I will cover more on trial updates from the Brazilian au pair. I watched Lawyer last night while I was cooking my chili, and it was really interesting to watch, although it is painful. When you're used to a really good prosecutor and a really good defense attorney, and we're used to seeing these like Alan Jacksons of the world, it's hard to watch people in these small little court cases that just don't fully understand and get it, and like they don't nail it. Like, I love Alan Jackson and Yannetti and Alessi. Like, I love those moments where it feels like every single scene in a courtroom is like a TV show, like it's scripted. So it feels a little bit it just doesn't feel as fascinating to watch trials when the lawyers are just not nailing it. But that's why I watch people like Lawyer, Peter Tragos, who kind of cover it for me, if you know what I mean. Oh, a little documentary moment. I tried really hard to watch the Andrea Yates documentary. My friend Kate Casey told me, "Hey Donna, go watch that. I'm interviewing the producers, and if you guys watched it, you can go and listen to Kate Casey's episode about it." But I tried really hard to watch the Andrea Yates documentary. This new documentary is about this woman, Andrea Yates. If you guys don't remember, it was a famous case where she murdered all of her 5 kids. Okay. And her husband, Rusty, is interviewed in this documentary. And it's so uncomfortable to watch. The first few minutes of this documentary are truly like hard for the soul to watch, because he's looking at footage of his children who were killed by his wife. And he's like feeling emotional watching it. And he's talking about how great Andrea was as a wife, and how amazing she was as a mother. And it's like, are you there? Are you there? And then the documentary moves into a story of this cult. So the whole documentary is mostly about this cult that Andrea Yates got involved in. And I didn't even watch it long enough to kind of really fully even get invested in it. But it's about this cult that she got involved in, which then led to this kind of like switch in personality for her. Guys, it made me feel bad. It made me feel bad inside. It made my stomach feel bad. I didn't like it. I don't want to watch it. I don't know how much I can watch documentaries about mothers killing their children. Like, that to me is the line I may not want to cross. It was too much for me. I did watch a documentary about a group of college kids or high school kids that survived a tornado. Did you guys see that documentary out there? I'm finding myself like really trying to hone in on spending my quality TV time on things that are either like really fascinating, really interesting, or really fun or light or easy. Like, I love Tell Me Lies. Tell Me Lies to me is a perfect show for me. And I know some of you guys don't like it because you think it's cheesy. It's a college-based show. It's on Hulu. Season 3 just started. There's 3 episodes out. It's like a mystery. It's back and forth, thriller, romance. I like that. I do enjoy that. Now, finally, about a show. There's a new show on Netflix that everyone's telling me that I have to watch, and it's based on a book. And you guys like to hear my book recommendations whenever I read a good book. So it's based on this book that I'm listening to actually right now called His and Hers. And I want to watch it. But I'm going to read the book first and then watch it. But apparently it's really, really good. And it's one of those 1-hour shows that everyone gets really into on Netflix. And finally, a book. Colleen Hoover released her new book, Woman Down, on Tuesday. Has anyone here read it? This was the book that people were saying, is this is this based on Colleen Hoover's life or Blake Lively's life? Because it's about a woman that kind of like had to get away from all of the craziness that was happening. I don't want to support Colleen Hoover, but I am interested to hear if this book is somewhat indicative of something that she's gone on in her own life or whatever. I'm curious. A couple of other suggestions from you guys about documentaries. You have to watch Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God. Oh, yes, I watched that. When she was drinking, was that the one that was drinking silver? Colloidal silver? That was a crazy documentary. Crazy. What else? Yes, Colleen Hoover did recently announce a cancer diagnosis. I'm not getting into that whole story, but yes. And of course, there's always the Housemaid series. I've read the first Housemaid, but I need to read the additional ones. Let me think anything else off the top of my head right now. I think that's it, you guys. I'm sorry for a shorter episode, but I do have to get out of here. I have to go jump over to the studio to record another show, but I love you very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk tomorrow. Bye.